This is the story of King Vikramaditya and Vetala. Vetala is a spirit from Indian legends, a ghostly being that dwells in cemeteries and can possess dead bodies. How did King Vikramaditya face the tricks of the Vetala? How did the mighty emperor get caught in the cunning and magical trap of the deceitful ascetic? And in the end, who truly emerged victorious? That beginning unfolds in today's tale. King Vikramaditya, celebrated across the world for his courage, bravery, and sense of justice, was destined to confront the mysterious Vetala through the schemes of a cunning sorcerer. This marked their very first face-to-face encounter, and it is the theme of our story today. The Emperor of Ujjain lives on in the hearts of people even now, remembered for his wondrous and adventurous life. But among all the events of his reign, nothing was as life-changing as that moment when he fell into the deceitful plan of a crafty ascetic and came across the enigmatic Vetala for the first time. And thus began the legendary cycle of 25 Vetala tales. About 10 miles from Ujjain lay a dense forest, and in its center stood a temple dedicated to the goddess Kali. Nearby, in ascetic practices and rituals, lived a hermit named Gyananashilan. Gradually, however, a terrible desire took root in the hermit's heart. He believed that if he could capture the Vetala that haunted the forest, he would gain the power to rule the entire world. Yet he realized that such a task was impossible without the blessings of the goddess. So he chose a dreadful path to win her favor. He concluded that only by offering the heads of 1,000 kings as sacrifice could he please the goddess. And thus, he devised a horrific plan. Using his powers of sorcery, the ascetic lured kings into the temple, slaughtered them mercilessly, and offered their severed heads to the goddess. 999 kings had already been sacrificed. To complete the 1,000, he decided that only the head of the mighty Emperor Vikramaditya would suffice. With this aim, Gyananashilan arrived at Vikramaditya's palace, carrying in his hand a pomegranate as an offering. The king received him with honor and asked the purpose of his visit. "O great king," said the ascetic humbly, "about 10 miles from here lies our hermitage, where a great sacrifice is taking place. Tonight it will reach its conclusion. Your noble presence alone can sanctify this sacred rite. But there is one condition. You must come alone, for the purity of the ritual must be preserved." Without any suspicion, the king agreed. Overjoyed, the ascetic departed. After his departure, Vikramaditya split open the pomegranate and was astonished to see it filled with dazzling gems. His mind grew doubtful. He immediately shared the matter with his brother, his dearest friend, and a man of great wisdom, Bhati. After some thought, Bhati said, "Majesty, there is a deep mystery here. How could a hermit possess such riches? Still, once you have accepted his invitation, it would be dishonorable to decline. Remember, as long as the goddess protects you, no harm can befall you." Accepting Bhati's counsel, the king prepared himself. Disguised as a hunter, armed with weapons, he mounted his royal steed and rode toward the forest. In the heart of the jungle, he found the ascetic, playing with two human skulls like toys. Around him lurked ghosts, ghouls, and spirits, and the entire place reeked of the dread of a cremation ground. "Ah, Your Majesty, you have come at the perfect time," the ascetic said with delight. But none of these horrors shook the fearless heart of Vikramaditya. He replied calmly, "I have kept my word and come. Now tell me, what is it you would have me do?" The ascetic said, 2 miles to the south lies another cremation ground. On a banyan tree there hangs a corpse. Bring it to me. Only then can this sacrifice be completed." At once, Vikramaditya set out into the stormy night, the forest filled with shadows of serpents, blood-drinking demons, and howling beasts. Yet with courage and chants of mantras, the king pressed forward. At last, he reached the banyan tree. From its branch hung a corpse, suspended upside down. Cutting the rope with his sword, the body crashed to the ground, only to suddenly spring to life with a piercing cry. Gripping it firmly, the king demanded, "Who are you? Why do you hang here? Speak at once!" But the figure only laughed, gave no answer, and swiftly climbed back into the tree. The king dragged it down once more. Again, the being remained silent, despite the king's thunderous command. Now the truth was clear to Vikramaditya. This was none other than the Vetala the ascetic had spoken of. Wrapping it securely in his cloth, he lifted the creature onto his shoulder and began the journey back. As they traveled, the Vetala broke its silence. "Great king, you have done what no ordinary man could. Tell me, who are you?" The king replied firmly, "I am Emperor Vikramaditya. I am carrying you to a powerful ascetic." The Vetala chuckled and said, "Then hear my condition. On this journey, speak not a single word to me. Should you break your silence, I shall fly back to my tree. Do you agree?" The king nodded. Though freed from bonds, the Vetala remained on his shoulder. After some time, the Vetala spoke again. "Majesty, the lives of the wise are blessed and peaceful, but the lives of fools are filled with misery. The road is long, so to pass the time, let me tell you a story. Listen carefully." And thus, the Vetala began his first tale. So far, you have heard only of the wondrous first meeting of King Vikramaditya and the Vetala. Ahead lie 25 strange stories, each filled with riddles and tricks from the clever Vetala, and the emperor's courage and wisdom in answering them. To hear these tales and join this legendary adventure, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel. And press the bell icon so you'll know as soon as the next episode arrives. Until then, see you again in the world of adventure.